Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good
Good
evening. Sister Hell
morning.
is the academic gem, and today I'm here with the Sugar Queen. How are you?
I'm very well, Elle. It's wonderful to be here.
Oh, thank you. And so I'm here with the Sugar Queen, and what she does literally is sugar people. So we'll give you a bit of an idea as we go on with the interview. But for now, we're just going to draw a card. You wanted to draw one of your animal cards, and I thought I would do Kyle Gray. So if you just hold that a second, I'll just get them. If you
Yes.
can introduce yourself and talk a little bit.
Hi, I'm the Sugar Queen of London. I make sugar and I use it to remove hair off people's skin. Basically, sugaring is an ancient, old Egyptian way of hair removal. I'm based in London. I also train people how to remove hair with sugar. I'm called a Sugar Queen because I make the best sugar in the world.
Wow, she's proper sugar mama.
Yeah, and if you want to find out, you can check me out on my Facebook or my website.
Yes. So, and also the Sugar Queen is doing some readings also and being friendly with the energies. And so we've come across each other. Our paths have crossed on this journey at this time. So we thought we would integrate our energy to do the best we can. So we'll see what energy is for helping us for this reading today. How are you all doing? Hope you're great out there.
Yeah,
And
hope you're fine wherever in the world you are. I'm
that's
sending you love and peace and compassion.
exactly, because not everybody is in the best of places, and we
Mm,
have to be as real with ourselves as we can and
okay.
know that people are in harm, people are in danger. Not everything's fluffy and light. However, if you surround yourself with trustworthy friends, you'll be just fine. And the card says, trustworthy friends, thank you, angels, for surrounding me with people I can trust and love. How amazing.
It is indeed.
And which deck are you using?
I'm using the Quintessence Coaching card, and it's by,
Beautiful horse on the front there.
yes, and it's
Beautiful.
by Raquel Beasley. Raquel Beasley. Okay? Now I'm gonna shuffle the card and I'm gonna get Ellen to pick one out. It's really beautiful cards. I love horses myself. I love riding horses.
Oh, amazing. You can
Yes.
horse race?
Oh yes, it's really
Ah,
simple
I've
and
got an equestrian
it's
here.
amazing stuff, especially for a woman riding a horse. It takes you out of this world.
Oh, excellent. I suppose the feeling of being free but being at a speed where you could just imagine lots of things as you're
Definitely,
traveling, right?
definitely, and you can feel the air
And the
blowing in air.
energy of the horse.
You're totally in control. Okay, so the
Excellent.
cards have been shuffled. I would like you to pick one card,
Okay,
L,
thank
and let's
you.
see what the
I'll pick this
universe
up.
has for you. Beautiful. So you have chosen this card. Isn't that lovely? Card number 25. So you want to
Let's
find out what
see.
that means?
25, indeed.
It's beautiful. Two horses
Two horses together, is it?
together, almost kind of like touching noses.
Oh, 25.
Let's find out what that say. Okay.
Thank you.
25
It's beautiful indeed.
says, number 25, hear me, hear yourself, be still with the land, and hear its rumbles, the knowing that rise through the air from the ground. It bubbles up, offering muscles of knowledge, of information. Listen to the sounds around you. Really listen. What's going on within and underneath all that sound when you look out at events and situations within your life? What's actually at play? Observe as a third party. See all the components part, the people as players, independently and gently observe what's playing out. From this heightened position, Take stock. Lock the insight that has landed. Allow that knowledge to germinate as a solution will spring forth like an oasis of water, refreshing you when you most need it, potentially becoming a place of play, of fun as you covet in the springs or swim in the nearby lagoon, star fishing and enjoy the sensation of water against your skin. Revel in the sensation, the fun of the moment, the light in the pure innocence of fun of it all. It's a beautiful card for you, Elle.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's amazing, isn't
Okay.
it, how the card speaks to us.
The cards definitely speak to you and they kind of direct you in a particular way. You think you're going one way on one journey, and however, it's to guide your steps, I reckon, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. I've always been drawn to the cards. I totally love them. I've got to a point where before I leave the house, I have to take it off.
Okay. And see what the energy for the
Yeah.
day might be for you.
It's important, I think, that we're grounded.
I think so. And also it gives us the connection of being in both worlds, because we have to be in both worlds,
Oh, yes,
don't we?
definitely.
We have to be present in the now, because all we have really is the present. And as we move towards the next movement, then we can see where our journey is taking us towards. Yes.
Indeed, indeed. There's so much transformation taking up on earth right now, and we all have to wake up and get on that journey. Otherwise, we're left behind.
Yeah, but what people, when they say, oh, we're left behind, where do you think they're left behind to? Or is it just remaining unconscious?
I think the earth is waking up right now. A lot of people are being called to be authentic, to be their real self, to come up and offer that service that they have been sent here to do. And those who are not waking and not awakened would be left behind. Basically, it's like a seed that does not germinate, does not grow. What happens to that seed?
Yeah, it just dies off, I suppose, isn't it? And
That's
then
right.
that's the end of the plant or the plant cycle.
That's why it's important to wake up.
Yeah, that's right. And we have the cycles of the planting season, even with the moon phases, don't we? Like they say, it's great to do new intentions for a new moon, and for a full moon, you can be expressive, or you can reach an outward
Oh, yes.
expression, a fullness of a particular time in your life.
The
And
the
you
cycles.
can chart it, yeah. You
the
can chart the
cycles are
basically.
really important, because guess what? Just like the seasons of the earth, you have summer, you have winter, you have spring, you have autumn. So there's the human circle. And the thing is, we really have to observe the circle and work with nature. I mentioned this in my book.
Yeah, that's right. Another author. Way. And the title of your book, darling?
I really want to keep that under wrap right now, because myself and my publisher, we're still talking about what to go with. But I'm hoping that it'll be out and released by August. And we talked
wow.
about a little bit about the moon, which you just mentioned,
Right.
and about embracing the cycle of life. There is something so powerful when you're connected with nature and you're able to observe the cycle of life. For example, the full moon. I mean, it's something that is so powerful.
And it even looks dramatic, doesn't it? It's like,
Oh.
da, da, da. Yeah.
When you start working with the moon cycle,
Them
your life totally
seasons.
changed. So I mentioned that a little bit in my book about um, embracing the moon cycle and how to basically watch it, look at it. That's why we've got astrologists,
Yes.
and those people who go into the moon,
And the astronauts and stuff.
astronauts.
Exactly, yeah.
They
Let's
go
check
out there
things
to
out.
observe the moon, but it's not just to them only. It's all available to
It
everybody.
is available to everyone. And that's why it's visible, I think, because it's there to show us
Yes.
that there's obviously greater things than us, just as when the sun comes out and shows the marvellousness of itself, and also the moon is there to be an equal, I would say, or another connection, obviously, that's sends vibrations to the earth, because that's what planets and stars do. They literally send vibrations to the earth, just as when we get vibrations when we put our feet on the floor. And this is a connection to in the earth. Some people say, oh, it's supposed to. No, it actually is, because it's grounding, isn't it? It's solid. I know the earth moves and we have earthquakes.
Yes.
However, we get to where we're going by using the earth and the earth. So this force is basically, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's what we build on also.
Hmm.
So, any exciting stories about your sugaring? Oh,
My sugaring. Well, I run I work from a clinic in Baker Street where
okay.
I have client booking me to come in and see me. Sugaring is ancient Egyptian method, like I said, of
Yeah.
hair removal. And I'd like to tell you a story about it.
Yeah,
Would
that'd
you
be
like to know?
great. That'd be
Okay.
great.
So in ancient Egypt, during the time of ancient Egypt, there was a lot of there was a war, as you do have,
Yeah.
around the 1705. Certain other race tried to take over Egypt, and the Egyptians did a lot of stuff to stop that invasion. But one of the things that they had to fight for within their community while the war was going on was lice. There was a lot of lice. People had, and the Egyptians were living in an environment that was infested at that
Right.
time. So they devised this product, which is basically made out of sugar.
Wow.
Sugar, salt, water and lemon, and they use it to remove their hair. So the lice they could not be infected by the
You
lice.
see?
And this is how sugaring became popular. And those who weren't sugared at that time were the soldiers who went to war, or the imbeciles, or the beggars. But the real citizens at that time were using sugaring to remove the hairs from their skin.
That's right.
And a very significant
Wow.
figure who was considered the world's most beautiful woman, the most beautiful woman at that time, was called Cleopatra. And she used sugar to remove all the hair on her
Okay,
body.
now these are the stories we need to be hearing and
Yeah.
listening and tuning
Did I
to.
tell you another truth?
Yes, another
That
truth.
the ancient Egyptians thought that the most beautiful woman was the hairless woman. It wasn't the size of her, you know what.
Body.
It
Wasn't the size of her
the
body,
it wasn't
yeah.
the look on her face. It was the fact that she was hairless made her more beautiful
Wow.
in ancient Egypt.
Yeah,
So,
smooth skin.
therefore, back to Cleopatra, she used sugar to remove all her hair,
I'm
and
sure
she
many of the great
also,
queens did. I'm sure many of them, and they also had milk
yeah,
baths, robe
Cleopatra. I was gonna
baths.
say that
Yes.
after she removed the hair with sugar, she would then go into a milk bath.
Wow.
She was a queen, she could afford it.
Yeah.
She get all her cows milked. She didn't drink the milk. Don't drink the milk.
Unless it's nuts or something, some sort of veg or
She
veg.
bathed with it. And when she took that journey from Egypt and ventured onto the
Oh,
shore
wow.
of
For Mark, yeah, where she was.
where was it? Greece, I think it was Greece.
Yeah.
And Anthony saw her.
And Mark Anthony
he-
said,
"Wow, who is that?"
Women don't look like that round here."
Right. So that's what you get with sugaring, basically.
and
So
milk
if you've
baths.
never been sugared, you need to get sugared, really. Because
Yeah.
you would be sweeter. I tell you, you'll be even more sweeter.
Ooh.
And just
I
give
did
us a
buy
call.
you had a self-sugaring kit that I bought once. That was,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty cool. And then you had the mud as well.
You're
one
going to
time.
watch out for my video. I'm going to do a video on how to sugar yourself. I've been saving my underpit hair so that you can
Excellent.
see how you can
Wow.
sugar yourself. We've got to pass this on.
Yeah, you have to
Don't
pass
you
on
think?
knowledges like this, most definitely.
important.
And even more so, or just as importantly, then you had started to have dreams or visions about something that you started to write also, isn't
Oh
it?
yes. Oh whoa, that came in from when I was living in this apartment, and I woke up one morning and there was a dead mouse in my room, and I thought, oh my God, what's a dead mouse doing in my house? Shall I call a friend? Oh, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. What should I do? So guess what? I put a plastic bag over it, plastic bag, and the next morning I woke up, the plastic bag had moved with the mouse. Oh, help! So that was the beginning of my story. The mouse kept appearing, and one after the other. So I thought I had a mice problem. They wouldn't go away. I didn't try to catch them either. So I know it sounds crazy. The mouse told me all about it. This book. Yes.
The mouse told you all about the
Yeah.
book.
Basically, he told me about his world that we're not aware of.
Oh,
Told me about the three worlds.
oh, the three worlds that we
Yes.
currently live in
That
this
we call this-
universe.
yes.
Yeah.
So basically, he took me. He didn't take me. It was like taking me by hand, but the story he led me to
Yes.
his world with his story, and how everything is interlinked. You see,
Right.
right? So they live. The animals and the elements occupy the third world, and the humans we occupy the middle world. And there is another world, the upper realm, which is where the celestials, which is the source, is connected to God itself, the Creator itself, and therefore for this messenger that had come to me was to bring the awareness that we're not alone and there's many worlds and that
Yeah.
we should really be kind to each other and be
We
nice
must
to
definitely.
everything around us. That's why I love nature so much.
Well, this is why we do love nature, because plants are here and alive and giving us the full oxygen. So sometimes when you meet people who don't eat certain foods, we're still killing the plant, and the plant screams.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever watched the plant experiment, you can Google it, definitely. Plant experiment, you can see that the plant picks out the person who killed its friend. And it's just like, wow, you have feelings like us, but there's just so much more subtle. And so while we're thinking about, oh, I don't eat meat, I only eat this, which is great. Everybody's body is balanced out differently. However, we must know that all worlds are alive, right?
Yeah.
The flora and the
Yes.
fauna is alive also. And for the information to be coming through animals, which is another part of nature now.
It's really almost it's a consciousness thing. So
Yes.
even though it was my message came through an animal per se, it wasn't just the animal. It was more than the animal,
Yeah.
because it told me a lot more that I didn't know.
And also, where are you going to find that
The
information?
no.
No, but it's true.
The story that it told me was about the human soul, you see. After it showed me the three worlds, he then told me about the human soul. How the human soul, when we die, where do we go? Told me all I needed to know. Where, basically, he told me that animals were more important than we ever thought.
Right.
Even
Right.
when we are gone.
Right.
So you really need to read the book. I don't want to
It
say
sounds
too much.
amazing. Honestly, it sounds amazing, and I really want to delve into it. So I'm wishing you all the best with that. I know that it's in
Thank
fruition
you.
at this present time,
Yeah.
and it's in the manufacturing stage and sure to be out pretty soon. I'll definitely keep you all updated on that. So if you've got any comments or you need to contact the Sugar Queen, how can that people contact you?
Yeah, you can contact me. Give me a call on 0734099741, or you can check me up on Facebook. It's called the Sugaring Wax Bar. The address is 98 Crawford Street, Baker Street. I'm based in Baker Street, Southwest. W something. Sorry.
Southwest Baker Street, you got to find it.
Yes.
Isn't that the Sherlock Holmes place?
Yes. Yeah, not far from the Sherlock
Sherlock Holmes, yeah. So it must be quite interesting around there. You see a lot of sights
A
and
lot of.
you must meet a lot of different people.
Oh yeah.
Must be amazing.
It's nice to go into work in the West End,
and
the
then
central
the city
London.
and,
Yes.
and meet all different people.
It's beautiful. Just
Amazing.
find out about sugaring. Really, you never regret it. If you've been waxing, stop waxing, because you know what happened with the wax thing that they're
Right.
meant to say. This
Right.
is sugaring was the main thing. You see.
That's why sugaring was the main thing, because it was a
And-
natural resource.
you know
right?
what
But
happened?
yeah, so the waxing came along.
Some crazy scientists thought, oh no, we can't do this. This is too much. So they made this thing
yeah.
called wax out of raisins. And so what's been happening is people are reacting to it. People, sensitive skin, people are reacting to this shit.
Right.
You know,
so not everybody is a raisin-friendly
No,
person.
Well,
yeah.
if you're into organic stuff, if you're into natural living, natural lifestyle, you're eating natural food,
Yeah.
you really want to be taking your hair off natural ways, right?
It sounds
so
like a good idea.
that's
yeah.
that's why sugaring is back. Real time.
The waxing is really bad.
It is terrible. I've seen people's skin being ripped off. I've seen people suffering from ingrown hair, because that's another thing that wax does. Waxing is different from sugaring. Why? Sugaring removes the hair from the roots, meaning it extracts the hairs, right?
Right.
Whereas waxing, on the other hand, breaks the hairs when it's hair has been waxed. The hair gets broken, the rest remains in the skin, and then you get ingrown hair. And it's awful for those who have suffered from ingrown hair.
Yeah.
You know how awful this stuff is. That cannot happen with sugaring. Okay? You would be left with soft, silky skin. No more bumps.
Amazing. No more bumps. And you do the whole body, or?
Yes, I have had client come to me. I've had all sort of, and I do men too.
Oh, excellent. There you go,
I
man.
do men. Watch out for my book on conversations with the Sugar Queen.
Ooh, that's going to be a great
Yeah,
book.
this is my next book. I felt my publisher told me that, she kind of brought the idea that I should write about what I do, you see.
Yeah, because it's so interesting, because you must meet various types of people.
Oh yes.
And everybody wants different parts sugared.
Sugar, it's interesting. I've been doing this for years.
You have been doing it for years, yeah.
How did I come across it, you asked me?
How did you come across it? Indeed, I didn't ask you that.
As you all know, maybe you don't know.
No.
Maybe you all don't know. Well, I'm 3-generation Egyptian. So my mom, my aunt, everybody in my home when I was growing up did sugar. When I moved to the West and I had my first child, I started personally growing facial hairs. And I tried everything, believe me, to get rid of this head. My hormones just went up and down.
Oh.
So I called home and I said, Mother, what do I do? This is happening to me. And my mother went, remember sugaring, and so
And you was
I
like,
was like, wow, I saw you doing it, but I don't remember how to do it. She's like, come on, you do. Go within yourself and find it. And so I did, and I remembered how she used to do it. And then, of course, I couldn't start sugaring people just because my mother taught me. I had to go and relearn it. So I met a woman. She was Canadian. And she had gone to Africa and saw it and packaged it.
Here we go. Sounds like a story.
And she was selling it, so I bought into it. I went to the college, I got my certificate, and then I got confident enough to come back out into the world, and I loved it, because I saw the effect on my own skin. I was like a walking
literally a walking advertisement with the beautiful skin.
Yeah,
that's right.
And all the hairs diminished. I felt more confident. I felt, because especially women who have facial hair,
yeah,
it really, really affects your self-confidence, you see. And once I could see the effect on my skin, and I love doing it to myself and my family, I thought, wow, this is it. This is it. I need to bring this out to the world. I need to share this with my sisters. So, as you know, Elle, that everybody has something to bring to this world.
Everybody has a gift.
So I recognized that this was mine stuff. This was what I needed. One of them,
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Woman of many talents, indeed.
This was what I needed to bring to the world. So I opened up my practice in 2014. And I haven't looked back, and I have seen thousands and thousands of people come my way.
Wow.
And that's how I got the name the Sugar Queen.
Sugar Queen indeed is what I say, most definitely. Excellent. Very good.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for coming and sharing this time with me. Thank you. And I'm sure to be back pretty soon. And everyone can get in contact with Coco. I'll leave her details below of the video as well. And I'll see you again soon. Hey.